Welcome to Creating Reels with Intention, Grow, Nurture or Sell. So let's get into it and let's talk about something that's going to shift how you approach creating reels on Instagram. Because I know a lot of women business owners are showing up, putting themselves out there, trying to be consistent, maybe jumping on trending audios, but not seeing the results that they want. And it's not because their content isn't good, it's because their content isn't intentional. So they're posting just for the sake of posting and not because it's part of a strategy that moves people closer to working with them. And I understand trends can feel fun and appealing, but if there's no why behind it, it's just noise. It's just adding to the noise, and the internet is already very noisy. And I personally would prefer not to add to the noise for the sake of it. So today we're going to talk about what it actually means to create reels with intention, where every single video that you post has a clear purpose. Because when you create with purpose, you start building not just visibility, but momentum. And that is going to help your business move forward. So I want you to think of your reels like puzzle pieces. Each piece plays a role in building the bigger picture of your brand and your business. And some pieces attract new people, some build trust, and some invite people to buy. So we always want to be building that know, like, and trust factor because nobody buys from anyone unless they know, like, and trust them. But we also want to be creating clear invitations for people to buy from us. So when you're just posting whatever comes to mind, just because you panic post, you feel like you should post something, or if you're copying somebody else's strategy because you think it's working for them, those puzzle pieces are not going to fit together. Your content that you've done in somebody else's style is not going to resonate. People will feel that something is off when you're just jumping on trends for the sake of it. Your audience can't see the full picture of who you actually are or what you offer. They don't understand your point of difference, your unique selling point. They don't understand who you really are. So when you create intentionally, your audience moves through a journey with you. So they go from who is she? They don't know who you are at point A to I like her content. She gets me, which is extremely important for your ideal clients to feel like you understand them. So obviously you need to understand them and they need to understand you. So that's point B. Point C is I need what she's offering. So this is where they actually buy from you and decide to have that sale. So that is the power of intentional reels. The framework I would like you to use from now on, if you would like to create reels that actually convert, should fall into one of three categories, and you want to be kind of spreading this evenly across your content. So this doesn't just apply to reels, this is content in general. So the three types of content that you need to be thinking about creating are growth content to grow your audience, nurture content, and sales content to sell to your audience. So we'll go through them bit by bit. So this is your content compass. Every time you sit down to create, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this reel or even this piece of content? What do I want my audience to feel or do after watching it? That's really important. One thing that I always tend to ask myself, and I know for a fact that a lot of my clients have this phrase ringing in their ears when they think about making content is, so what and who cares? Because I feel like if you ask yourself, so what and who cares, before you post a piece of content, and if you can't answer, so what and who cares, then don't post it. There's absolutely no point to it if you can't answer so what and who cares. Because if nobody cares and if there is no so what answer, then it's pointless. So let's start with growth content, because growth content is how people discover you. It's how people come across you on Instagram. And your goal here is not to sell. Let's not get confused and think that every piece of content has to do those three things. Some content might do those three things all in one go, but you don't want to set out for each piece of content to do that. So let's just split them up. We'll talk about growth content first. And growth content is to attract new people into your world. And you want your reels to stop the scroll, make your ideal audience think that she is speaking directly to me. So let's go through some examples, what growth content looks like. Relatable moments that your audience will share or save. When I post anything about ADHD, this is very relatable for a lot of people, and a lot of those people are in my ideal client sort of area, and that is the kind of content they'll save to their Instagram account, they'll share to their stories, they'll send it to their friends. It's content that's relatable, and often it's funny. So quick punchy tips that show your expertise. Again, this is great growth content. Even things like mini trainings, because that's the kind of thing that people will also save, share to their stories, send to their friends, because it's helpful, it's useful, and it's illustrating your expertise as well. So busting common myths in your niche, calling out things that people often think are true, but they're actually not true, can be really useful for growth. And then using trending sounds strategically, not just for fun. There needs to be a point of them. So let's go through some examples. If you're a coach, it could be something like 3 things I do differently if I was starting my business again. Valuable, relatable, shareable. So I always like to think of this type of content. It's kind of snack size. It's sort of bingeable in an easily digestible sort of snack size way, and it makes people want more from you. It makes people feel like, oh, they've had a little taste, but they want to find out more. So another example, if you were a brand designer, you could post something like what your brand colors are secretly saying about your business. This is great growth content. It makes people feel curious to find out more. It's educational. It's teaching people something. It makes people want to follow you for more. So your aim with this growth content is to get new eyes on your content, and not just any old new eyes belonging to people who are a fit for your offers, who are a good fit for your offers, your ideal clients. That's who you're aiming for. Growth reels are a great magnet to attract the right people in. So once someone's found you, obviously your job isn't done. When you run your own business, your job is never done because it's a business. It's time to nurture those people who found you, to build trust and connection. And these are the reels that make people say, I feel like I know her. And this is where you let your audience see your personality, your values, your story, get to know your why, and what you believe in and who you are as a person. So a couple of examples of nurture content: behind the scenes of your business or your process, your why, what got you into what you do, a vulnerable or personal story that your audience can relate to. And it only needs to be as vulnerable as you want it to be. Tips that help your followers make a small transformation before they ever buy. So some examples: if you're a social media manager, for example, the truth about what I do for my clients behind the scenes. Another example, if you're a coach, the one mindset shift that helped me go from overwhelmed to fully booked. If you're a photographer, another example, here's how I help camera shy clients feel confident on shoot days. So these reels do not have to go viral, they have to connect. They are building that know, like, and trust factor. They're nurturing your ideal clients, because connection builds trust, trust builds clients. So think for a moment about what you could share that helps your audience, your ideal clients, see your heart behind the business. What makes you relatable? What makes you tick? What is going to resonate for your ideal clients? What's going to land with them? What's going to be helpful? What's going to serve them? So finally, the last category is sales. And this is where a lot of women business owners get stuck because for some reason they think that selling feels icky or pushy. And literally, it's just a mindset reframe with sales. Sales does not have to be icky, it can just be an invitation. But you need to be clear. You need to be really clear about what's on offer. Otherwise, it's confusing and nobody likes to be confused. There's that old saying that confused minds don't buy. So if someone's been watching your growth and nurture content, they already trust you or they're starting to trust you. They might be curious as to what you actually have to offer. They just need to know how to work with you, how to buy from you. So making it as simple and straightforward as possible is going to be serving your ideal client. So let's go through some examples of sales type content. Being really explicit when you are actually selling. You don't need to be apologetic about it or sort of hiding it in a little PS at the end of a post. Be really explicit because there are going to be a lot of people out there that need what you do. And I always like to remember this. If you're not showing up confidently, authentically, letting people know how you can help them, you're doing them a disservice. So, some examples: sharing a client transformation or testimonial, a day in your life working with clients, and maybe things that uh, like results that your clients have got from working with you, transformations, aha moments, breakthroughs, and a clear invitation. For example, doors are open for my 6-week program, expansion season, which is my program starting in January, by the way. Here's who it's for, what you'll walk away with, and then behind the scenes of your offer, what it looks like, who it helps, and most importantly, the results it creates. Because if people aren't clear on what the outcome of your offer is, of course, they're not going to buy. People aren't really bothered about the way that you get to the outcome, like how many calls it entails, to a lesser extent, like what modalities you use. No, people really want to know what's in it for them. What are they going to get out of it? How are they going to feel? What's going to be the difference by the end of whatever you're offering? So the key is show the transformation, not just the product. You're helping people see what's possible for them when they work with you. And you can still use trends or sounds in your reels, but the message underneath should clearly guide your audience towards the next step. Because if it doesn't, you're doing them a disservice. You're not being clear with them, and you're just adding to the noise and the overwhelm of the internet. So ask yourself, do your followers, your community, do they actually know what you're offering right now? Because if not, they can't buy from you. They need to know what you have on offer clearly. So here's what I want you to do. Look back at your last 5 reels and label each one, whether it's growth content, nurture content, or sales content. And you'll probably notice that you've got lots of one type and not enough of another. So then plan your next 3 reels intentionally. 1 for growth, 1 for nurturing, and 1 for sales. And write your intention before you create it and ask yourself, who is this for? What do you want them to feel or do? And where does it fit into their journey with me? With you, not me. And when you create with that clarity, your content starts working for you. You'll stop posting randomly and start posting strategically. And just remember that you don't need to post more. You just need to post with more intention. Every reel should have a purpose. It should either attract, connect, or convert. And when you master that balance, your reels become more than just random videos. They become the start of your client's journey with you. That free content that you're creating that's on social media That is the start of your client's journey. And you'll begin to notice more people following you because they feel seen, because they resonate with your content, more DMs from people saying, I love your content, and more sales happening naturally without the push. When you create content that resonates with people, that lets people feel like you understand them, feel like you know where they are, that lets them feel like you're in their head, not in a creepy way, but you don't have to sell. When you create that type of content, people naturally want to buy what you have to offer. And it's a case of making that invitation really clear. So you're not just showing up online, you're showing up on purpose. So your challenge today, before you film your next reel, write down the word grow, nurture, or sell at the top of your script. And that is how you create reels that actually move your business forward. And if you'd like some more help on creating reels, I have a 30-day challenge, which you can join at any time. And it's perfect for beginners. It's perfect for if you've already made reels before and you want to learn a few new techniques and you want to know how you can speed up your workflow and not spend hours creating reels, and have lots of inspiration about how to make it more fun and straightforward and simple. Just go over to Instagram, find me on Instagram at connect_women-in-biz, DM me the word reels, and I will send you the details over. I hope you found this useful, and I will see you in the next training.